Hey, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good day. It's Uranium Day. I've got a uranium update. I've been doing a lot of updates because I know we're kind of at a critical juncture for some of these companies. They're trying to break through these patterns. So I'm continuing to monitor it. And, if this stuff interests you guys, click subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments section. But let's look at some of the chart patterns. This is uranium. I'm going to go through a couple of things here just to get everybody up to speed on where we're at real time. So this is uranium. I'm sure I've left out some companies. No worries. So this is an update. We're going to go straight to the charts. We're looking for psychological containment breaks, basically chart patterns. And this is only financial education. Whatever you guys decide, you got to do your own due diligence and see if these companies are right for you. I want to start with the CRB Index. Very large. This is the last bull market in 2008 where it ended. Big downtrend line in this disinflationary, very disinflationary period over here. And look what we've got. We've got a chart break to the upside for the entire commodity complex. And I'm sure some of you guys don't know this because you just are so focused on uranium itself. But this is important to know the big picture. Commodities are going higher. Usually that means that the dollar is getting weaker. And that is a tailwind to our sector, which is a commodity. This is the uranium price on a big long-term perspective. We're in this upward channel, and we're going to attack this downtrend line, which is next. Got to break through this guy. So that's where we're at uranium price-wise. This is zoomed in. We've got this pattern coming through. We got to break through it. But the lows it's higher lows stepping on up and higher highs. So that's good. We're in an uptrend. Here's Uranium North Shore Global Uranium Mining Index, or ETF, I should say. We came on up, hit our head. We popped through. We could see a pullback to back test this guy. That is very common to do. But again, I don't know the path. I can tell you we broke out to the upside of this. It's looking good. And don't just expect straight movements up. This is a little day, a higher opening price than the closing price, but still was an up day. That's what the black candlestick means. We could pull back a little bit tomorrow before heading higher, or a day or two. We'll see what happens. Here's CAMCO. I drew this guy like this. We have a bearish engulfing. We are trying to break through this pattern. We could see this pull back in this pattern for a little while longer. So that's what I'm expecting and looking for, is kind of a move maybe a little bit lower where this consolidates or it goes sideways before this heads out of this pattern here. Give it some time. Here's Forum Energy Metals. One thing I wanted to touch on here, I just drew these lines in and it just stair steps higher. And we're at that stair step position again. So we'll see what happens. If you look at this line here, you get a pullback basically almost to this line. You get another one, the pullback came, somewhat close to the line. And if you've got this one, we're quite a bit a ways higher. If you drew a line here, we almost pull back to that as well. So hopefully this thing breaks to the upside. I mean, obviously this thing could easily roll over as well. So I'm just watching this. I do own Forum Energy Metals, seeing what's going on. Here's one zoomed in. Again, we got the lines there coming up. We just got to break through here, and it looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's going to give it an honest effort to try to break through this resistance line. I think it looks pretty good. I don't see any bearish engulfings or anything like that in here. That's what I'm talking about. Goviax, we've got this breakout line. There must be a lot of sellers in here. Right here, sellers. It's like we keep hitting our head on this. So once we break through all of these sellers, once they tire themselves out, I think we'll have a good run at 30 cents, 31 cents. So it's going to be, you got to have some patience. If this thing pulls back a little bit and retests this line, maybe another buying opportunity. So I have a feeling that this thing's going to try to keep breaking through and may see this thing zigzag back and forth for a while, just like we've been doing until until the sellers tire out and all the sellers are out of there. It just takes buyers to soak up all these sellers that are selling stock up here. Here's Laramide. This one's got me very, interested. We've got this breakout here today. That's good. We could very well pull back or move higher. Don't know the path. We've got the trend line here. So we've been in an uptrend. We came in here and we've been trying to break through this guy here. And we finally just popped through. And when looking at the big picture, this is where we're at. We've got a lot of buyers and sellers at these turning points up here. So it's got to get through these buyers and sellers back here to really get a good break. So we're working it. We got to, take some time. We'll get through it. And what I'm expecting is we'll get through this and we'll probably see a move that looks something like this for cis metals. We broke this line here and you could see this pause right here. That pause is where there was a bunch of sellers in the stock and buyers came in. You can see all the volume here. Buyers came in, overwhelmed the sellers, and drove this thing higher. So it takes some time to get through these turning points where there's buyers and sellers that we have to deal with in these areas previously in the stock, and they're probably selling the stock. So whenever you see these areas like this right here, we'll probably sit there for a little while, and then we'll break. The timing, I don't know, but it will happen over time. Here's cis metals zoomed in. We get these nice kind of flat lines and then it breaks higher. This is another flat line and we're breaking to the upside. I even think it ended higher than this. So we got another little breakout here for cis metals. Looking fantastic. Bannerman. Bannerman on a long-term perspective. We've got some sticky buyers and sellers through here from previous areas. It's not too bad. So I think we'll kind of bust through here pretty quick. So Bannerman's looking fantastic. Short term, there's the break to the upside. Looking great. Go Bannerman. Deep Yellow. Deep Yellow's hitting it hard. Breakout. Moving on up. Nice big up day today. I don't know if it ended this high or if it ended higher, but this is looking fantastic from that perspective. Again, once we break through this 60 cent on a long-term basis, which we are, I think we got a nice move ahead of us. Denison Mines, just another long-term perspective, broke to the upside, and it's going to sit here for a while as it goes through all of this area back here. There's a lot of buyers and sellers, and it's going to be very sticky through it. Here's it zoomed in. We're trying to break out of this pattern here on the short term. We could come back inside the pattern, relax a little bit longer before we break to the upside. But that's the pattern, the flag pattern that we're looking at. UU broke to the upside. Again, we've got a bunch of buyers and sellers back here. If they're still in the stock, they're probably selling the stock, and it provides overhead resistance for the move. So give it some time. This is UU on a short-term basis. We're hitting our head on the top of this channel. We got a little bearish engulfing. We could come back a little bit before we try breaking higher. URG, again, this is the pattern we've got. We got to break to the upside, little back test here. So this one looks pretty good for a potential move to the upside. We broke through this pattern. Again, we're going to have to break through this area through here too. So there is some resistance, but nonetheless, we broke to the upside. And Blue Sky Uranium, just the pattern that we're seeing. We get this downtrend line, break to the upside, little downtrend line, break to the upside, downtrend line, break to the upside, and we're probably going to try to break through this downtrend line here eventually. So that looks pretty good. The overall uranium sector is looking pretty good. Some, might pull back a little bit in some of the companies. Other ones look fantastic. They broke out of their patterns and they're moving on higher. What do we have coming up in the next couple days or week? Good question. I don't know the short term. Again, I don't have the crystal ball, but looking at these patterns, looking at the chart breaks, looking at some of them trying to break out of their patterns, we've got long-term resistance lines that we're trying to break through. We're doing everything we can to move to the upside, and that's all you can ask for. So valuation-wise, check. Commodity boom behind, giving us the tailwinds behind us, check. And the charts here, technical-wise, all look pretty compelling. Maybe some more time on some of them to break through their patterns. And then I think the entire sector could do another move on up. So would I be in this sector? Definitely. I think this is one of the best sectors to be in terms of returns during this commodity bull market. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.